out on Lough Erne with my two girls. Say hello, Ollie and Katie.
Hello.
We're testing out a 4 horsepower Hangkai that I showed in a previous video. We're just going to go around White's Island for a spin. So this is a Tinker Traveller. So for the first time, it's quite noisy. We're just making our way to White's Island ahead. So that was a quick test of the Hangkai 4 horsepower air cooled. If you haven't seen it, I've done the other video where I've unboxed it. Basically put it all together. There's a wee bit of assembly, you have to put oil in, change gear oil, things like that there. But that's the first time I've had it out in the water. Seemed to work quite well. Bit noisy. If I was to say the positives and negatives, the positives were it's cheap. It seems to be quite easy to start, or seems to start quite reliably. Parts are cheap. I checked the carb, which is usually the thing that goes. For example, I had a 2 horsepower Suzuki, and a carb for it's like 80 quid, and they're quite temperamental, whereas a carb for this one is only 12 quid, so you could probably buy 10 carbs, and that's usually the thing that goes. They get gummed up with especially the petrol and the ethanol and the petrol these days, so that's probably the thing that'll go first anyway. So having a cheap replacement, then that's what you want. The other benefit is it's quite light, so it's actually quite, because it's air cooled and there's none of all the gubbins for that there. It's quite light, so it's easy to carry, and obviously that's handy in the back of the boat. It pushed the boat well. While it's a 4 horsepower, I reckon it's only 2 horsepower in reality. It's typical Chinese sort of landy, but it does push the rib along, pushed it along about 5 knots at full speed. One thing I did notice, I suppose leads us into the negatives, is it sort of bogs down at full throttle. So it once you sort of get to about halfway, that's it good, and then you go past that there and it's not great. You're supposed to run it in at half anyway, so for the time being I'm not too bothered. But I've seen other people things, so maybe it's the carb, maybe I'll get another carb and try that there and see if it runs better. But for mine, easy at the minute, half throttle's fine. It starts, runs, not too bothered about that. The other negative is probably the noise. If you've probably heard in the video, it's quite noisy. Again, not massive problem, but if you're looking at sort of an air cooled or versus water cooled, the water cooled obviously be a lot quieter. But still runs very well. I'm trying to think of the other negatives, but yeah, no, that seemed to be it. The other negative is whenever you tilt it, basically the seals on the petrol tank and oil and stuff like that there's not great, so you kind of need to keep it vertical. It does say that in the book, but if you let it flat, petrol and oil comes out, so not great. I put a bin bag around it and left it sort of in the back seat sitting up like that there, and seemed to be fine. But obviously if you're putting in your boot or carry something like that there, you could end up with a bit of petrol or whatever, so it's just something to be wary of. So negative. But for the price, 250 quid or whatever it is, you can't really fault it. It's probably a bit less actually. I found somewhere in AliExpress it ships from Germany, and I'll stick a link down below. But yeah, happy with it so far. But obviously watch this space. I'll be doing some more, I'm going to use it as a tender. I have the oars as a backup, but it is handy. I'm also going to go up rivers and things like that there. So hopefully get a few more videos for you guys. But yeah, if you first time here, click like, subscribe for me, please. And thanks for watching. All right. Catch us all later. Thanks. Bye.